Whew. Mm. I apologize for the oh, there's Astro. I haven't seen him in such a long time. I want to roll out the red carpet and give him a warm welcome back, a little greeting. I apologize for the lack of a stream this morning, which is the usual thing I do. I had some stuff. Basically, I was up until 3 a.m. and then I usually try to have those at 6. I just couldn't make it. I was too tired. Man, Friday is such an aggravating day because I try to like squeeze a lot of stuff in there, and then there's external factors where I can't just bulldoze through something. So it's always like in that time frame of like the latter part of Friday and the early part of Saturday where I try to do things. And Saturday's kind of similar where I can do stuff in the morning and then in the afternoon, late afternoon, just on average, usually depending on what kind of circumstances arise. So that's why we didn't have one this morning. I'll see if I can try to do one next next week. I did try to upload something, so maybe that counts. I don't know if that's good enough. And this has been such a wacky week. I mean, like the keyboard, not the keyboard, the space bar on my computer starts acting up. So every time I type something, I have to like hit the little small itty bitty button in the middle. And it's so when you try to fix something and you don't know how to do it, and then you go online and look for advice, and then the advice still doesn't work, and the only way to, I guess, possibly have it fixed, take it to a professional. It gets really aggravating because I was sitting here watching all this stuff. They say clean this thing out, arrange these in such a way, and it was like no matter what I did, it just stayed exactly the same, like the chick stuff. And the reason I don't want to take it to professionals because the last time I did that with another older model, they literally sat on it for a couple of months where they got it to slightly work. See, this is what pisses me off about these repair places. They get something to work once or twice, and then they just let you go. So they'll hold on to some this computer for like 4 or 5 months. You get it back and you click it. Oh, it's working. Then a little bit more. Oh no, it's not working. You idiots didn't fix it. It's annoying, man. It's not something I'm exactly a fan of. But technology is really finicky and frustrating and obnoxious in that regard. So I'm not too surprised that happened. It is kind of annoying because the thing about the other one is that it's been around for about 4 or 5, at least 6 or 7 years, and it didn't give out on the keyboard until maybe 5 years in. So for like a solid half a decade, if you wanted to do something, it was cool. With this, it's like you just got this 10 months ago, and now it's acting like you know it sucks because other than the space bar, it's perfectly fine. Everything else about it is working, and to have that particular key act up just is aggravating. Now VVS, I'm not intending on talking about chicks, so you can you can return to your blooming, blossoming, highly successful channel. Like I'm over here trying to court any of my people, trying to lure them. Yeah, Ruben, I'm very apologetic. I didn't get to finish the Johnson documentary. I've got a script, and I'll probably try to record it over the weekend. Again, I'm trying to do something really unique. I want a whole, just complete. The thing about when I try to do one of these is I want to take all the details of that person's life and just wham it all together. So I want to have the stuff about his parents in there. I want to have his lack of an education in there. Him being the only Southerner that doesn't leave the Union during the Civil War, being put on the ticket with Lincoln just so they could appeal to the South, which still didn't vote for them anyway. Uh, and then the presidency and what he did after that. So I want all of that to be included there, and it's not going to take as long as the Nixon one because there's no clips to play in that, if anything. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, I know. Ruben was very upset. He logged on his YouTube today, and he's like, "Where's my documentary?" Yeah, he was entirely upset. He said, "This ain't gonna ride." Chose for the exact same reason. Yeah. Difference is I like LBJ, so I don't like that's the problem with the Kennedy Lincoln comparisons. If it's like you got one Johnson I despise, which is the one that came after Lincoln, and the other one that is in like my top five. So it's always this thing of just yeah, I get it, Ruben. Yeah, what's up, Envoy? We have no chicks to sell for you today, so while you're looking up, also look up Jordan P. Ben. What is it, Judah P. Benjamin? Let me type this in. Senator from Louisiana, cadet officer of the Confederate States, fled to the UK, first Jew elected, a U.S. senator who had not renounced his faith. I see the significance now. And Astro's laughing at some. He's been laughing for the last few minutes. He's having a good old grand time. Well, Envoy, I'm really frustrated because I try to be consistent with content. So I have a thing of I stream Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then just put up stuff for the other weekdays. And I wasn't able to do it because I was asleep for pretty much all of the morning except for like 10 and 11 or 11 and 12. No, I was right the first time, 10 and 11. Oh, oh. Well, Astro, can you blame me? I mean, you know, I don't, I have no way of knowing that. So I appreciate the correction, ma'am. I see why you picked this person, Ruben. He seems to be very significant. I'm going to actually take this and put it on the, save it somewhere before I forget. I got early Alzheimer's. Yeah, I can't wait to start actually doing these documentaries. I got so many people just lined up for that. Like out of the modern historical figures, I shouldn't say modern historical figures, out of modern contemporary people, Giuliani's on the list. Trump inevitably, although I wanted to wait until after he's out of office, so that could be a number of years. Yeah, Envoy, I no, I didn't oversleep. I went to sleep later than I usually do. Because the two tactics I do in Saturday is stay up till 12, and then because I want to be there for the 6 a.m. stream, either go to sleep right then and then wake up maybe a little bit later, or stay up all the way until 6, and then after I do the stream, just pass out. So it's one of those two tactics. Says, "Oh, okay. I feel that can be annoying when you have a schedule. Well, because it's not a thing that is like contractually obligated of me. Like if this were my actual job or anything, I don't have to do it, but I still prefer to say I'll do one at 6 a.m., one at 6 p.m. So if you, I don't know, live on some alternate coast, you can come and see it, or your chances of seeing it are bettered or increased. Let's see. He still says, "What's up?" This the ceiling, the sky, and then he says Trump said one good thing that built When did he say that? I'll be shocked. Can you find that clip for me and like link it? Envoy says, "Oh, okay. I'll read your comment right in a moment, Ruben. Oh, okay. I feel you. That can be annoying when you have. Oh, okay. I read it already. I feel so ignorant. Just like Sky said, I'm ignorant and ghetto. He pegged me correctly. If you remember that during what was it, 2 live shows ago? Ruin says, "Do you think that the stupid impeachment trial is the last attempt by establishment Democrats to get rid of Trump since Kamala's campaign got crushed, and none of the other?" Yeah, that's what I've. I didn't really draw that correlation, but I mean, think of the people who've been leading impeachment. Nobody likes Waters. Nobody, well, let's put it like this. Most of the top leading figures for impeachment who've been making it their key issue, like Nadler, all these people know that when they get out of office, they will literally be remembered for nothing except for this. So they're all trying to like get their moment in the sun. And they know that if Trump is defeated by, some Democratic candidate next year, whoever that is, will be, their chances of getting remembered for helping oust him out of office go up like in flames like that. Man, I wish I could find that article, Ruben, because I know you might still not believe me about Harris being the anointed one. That broad wasn't even a month for half a year before they went and flew her to Martha's Vineyard and were like, "We're going to make sure you're the Democratic nominee, and you're going to get all the fundraising and backing and endorsements." And like at that point, they still weren't entirely sure about Biden, but their main thing was a black chick who we can say you're sexist and racist for not supporting. So they're really disillusioned. They hate that Tulsi came out of there. You don't understand. I do believe you. Had to put it in cap locks. Ruben, I swear I'm gonna make that documentary. I just have to wait. I don't know what VBS is laughing about. It turns out Bernie technically had a heart attack. How do you think this will affect him? I thought he just outright had a heart attack, and that he looked fine to me when he got out. So I've been hearing it's a routine procedure. I'm not worried. I think it'll be exactly the same of just the same people who are saying that, oh my God, we're so scared of uh, his health being poor, are the same people who can watch Biden screwing up a million times over and like they have no problem with that at all. Just another day in the hood. Yeah, yeah. Music Fiend, I'm aware. Okay, VVS says, I agree. I don't know what he's agreeing with. I've been saying a lot of things have been stated, VVS. Let's see, Music Fiend says, Tulsi ate Kamala alive. Yeah, she got smashed. And the best thing is she didn't even expect it. Dude, I'm telling you, that third debate, they went out of their way to make sure she didn't go on the stage. You have 26 polls where she's at 2% or higher, and only two of them count. And that's not a scheme to get someone out of it. Okay, Ruben says, I saw some right-wing people say that they should register as Democrats if they live. Oh, I remember this, in swing states and vote for Biden to help Trump. I mean, there was, to not necessarily to approve of what they're doing, but I remember a similar tactic being employed where you had Democrats registering as Republicans to try and vote against Trump so that one of the like Kasich or Cruz could get it. Let's see, Tulsi not in the next debate either. I don't think. Yeah, she is. Her and the goofy billionaire who's running for no reason. Steyer made it, so it's going to be 12 people instead of 10, and that's a source of great annoyance for some of our establishment pals. Music Fiend says that's genuinely an effective strategy. Unfortunately, it is. I mean, if they're registering in South Carolina, they're literally wasting their vote. Like even people who love Sanders, like Status Quo, Sheridan, he admitted no chance. Too many people who, they're not feeling the burn over there. And it doesn't matter who it is. They're not into progressives. Sanders, Gabbard, Yang, all none of them have a snowball chance in hell in winning the state. Ruben says Steyer donated to Elizabeth Warren. I think some other Democrats too. I know he donated to Ruben's favorite, the Porter in Chief, Trump's immediate predecessor. B Still says the Democrats are more than likely going to lose. Don't be so negative, B Still. I saw that donation you made to the Yang campaign. He was very appreciative for it. You said in your message, I'm gonna give Yang some UBI. That was your amazing reversal. You said your eyes had been opened. Let's see. B Still says it's way too many Democrats running with watery plans and no solid blueprint to sway the masses. Man, I'm at such a point that I just think there's like always 40% of people who you shouldn't even waste your time trying to talk to. Because I told you in that 10-month period where I was on Twitter, not even 10 months. It was about 3 of those months where I actually was responding to people. It was literally the same thing over and over where you talk to them and then like what you say just goes right through their ears like it didn't even happen. Like I told this guy, we have over 70% of people living paycheck to paycheck. Oh, homeless people are homeless because they don't want to work, even though 40% of them work. It's like I was like, screw it, screw it. You can be stupid by yourself. Don't go giving this to the Yang Gang. Hey, he's gonna imagine he gets a nomination. If I didn't get those $2 from Be Still, I would have never made it. Dirk says Joe Manchin going up against Paula Jean again. I could have sworn it's her versus Capito. Yeah, it's her versus Capito. Dirk. She's running against the other West Virginia senator who's. I mean, I actually don't know which one is worse. So I said party doesn't matter. Ruben says Beto O'Rourke, Booker, and the other Democrats do not have anywhere near the approval that Kamala had. So I really think that the Democrats are now resorting to impeachment instead. Yeah, all their top people failed. Like this guy said, Biden might win South Carolina and Delaware, and then just everywhere else just get toppled in that, and that would be lovely. Because even for as bad as O'Rourke is, he's in second place in the state, sometimes in first. Be Still. My point is, he at least is retaining his home state. I'm just saying that. And Be Still, you're trying to take away UBI, so you're right in there with Beto. If we ever see what you look like, we're going to need a picture of you and him together. Removing things from people. Pandering to the Latinos. No, I don't even think that's true because Ruben weren't you opposed to this saying random Spanish stuff at the beginning of the debate just because he wants to remind you he can speak another language? Ruben says Beto probably has security in his trust fund mansion. Yeah, he has a nice hefty amount of bodyguards. This guy said someone should make a video about, would you consider Yang a centrist, liberal, or leftist? I'll be nice and say liberal. If I were to say leftist, it's only because I'm not entirely sure he's that committed to single payer. Because like literally every single candidate has been waffling on that. I have a clip of Gabbard from her town hall last weekend that I can go and dig up, where she's like, I have Medicare choice, and if you want to keep your doctor, you can keep your doctor. It's like, no, I don't want a public option. God, I want private insurance abolished, except for supplemental care. Go away. So I'd say he's liberal. He still says LOL, and that's the funny thing because Beto speaks Spanish. Latinos are supposed to trust him. Yeah, like he says, "Senor," and they're like, "That's our person. We gotta vote for him." Like their brains just shut off. He wishes that happened. B still says, "I just want to know if man, you confuse me. So what is that? Beto Nuzes? Beto Nuzes? Man." B still, please type that again. I don't even know what that is. Or if Beto uses Gaia powder, if he does, then that should be something. Oh yeah, we're gonna report him and reveal everything about him. Dirk says everyone wants public option except Bernie. Well, again, I haven't directly seen Yang flip flop on it, but because of how much even all the other people are pissing me off, wouldn't be too surprised. B still says Gaia powder is a Latino spice brand. Oh, well, I didn't know. Ruben says I'm mocking Beto for using SJW tactics to win approval. What is this? To win approval, but at the same time is a white man appropriating Hispanic culture. I thought he was Hispanic. I don't even know what any of these people are anymore. I've seen so many people like try to pick who's what race. Like Is Harris fully black or is she half? Is Beto fully Hispanic or is he half? Like, I don't care. They're idiots. Leave it at that. Music Fiend says, I'm not going to fret. I was for a public option for the longest time, thinking it was similar to the British system. Man, just do single payer outright. I don't need any like half measures, because this is what they do. They give you the half measure and then they go, oh, see, reigning champion of healthcare. Like, for example, you had this First Step Act, and all these Democrats vote for it, right? And and it's agreed that it's called First Step for a reason. They want to do more stuff to ease to reform the criminal justice system. And literally for the entire, because that was passed in December, for the entire last 10 months I've been hearing Trump is a reigning champion of fixing the system and giving people a fair share. No. Like, oh, you guys play right into his hands, dummies. Congress is filled with fools. He still says the pandering is white politicians pretend to be a minority are mixed with somebody of color. Music things in the last 2 weeks, I'm just straight up Medicare for all. I'm glad Music Fiend made his transformation. Let's see, did I miss anyone's comment? Well, that's pretty much it. All right, good. Oh, I remember I was on this one voice chat with this person, and I made like if I have my leg in one position for 10 or 20 minutes, you can kind of feel like a relieving of tension, and I do, oh, and they're like, are you moaning? Like, no, I'm just reacting to something that is visual, that is, as you can see, is slightly what's a good word for it, straining. But, that's how they roll. Everybody's picky and wants to do stuff and whatnot. Okay, but still says, when I run for president, I'm gonna need to speak Mandarin to the Chinese, so the Chinese will vote for me. They're like, man, you can actually look at polls. People didn't fall for that. So all these different ethnic groups, by and large, are not really appealed to in those ways. Brian says, hey, I caught a live show. I hope that's not Sky Clank. I don't want him to call me ghetto again. Music Fiend says, I'm worried about people advocating for the criminal. Oh, here we go. I told you, Music Fiend, there are a couple of issues I really would rather just not discuss at all ever, because I'm so sick of them being on TV every single day. And you brought up one of them. So you can write about it. I just won't read it. Every day you turn on Fox. Ice and MS-13. Man, I'm good. Wait, so Ryan, are you Scott? Give me a second. Sorry about that. I was letting someone in. Okay. What all was written here? Oh, not that much was written. Good. What are your thoughts on Greta? Oh yeah, I'm Sky. LOL. I'll be changing my name again. Just pick a name. I get so confused. Like, or at least if you're gonna change your name, get an avatar because I can't remember like the green person is generic person is like copyrighted by you. Dirk says when it comes to climate change, we are doomed. Dirk, do we need to do another climate stream, another climate change stream to give an update on all the different events that have occurred? Because I actually do have I have this one tab where I've just kept a bunch of articles, like EPA gets sued for this. This group gets strike down for that. B still says Music Fiend. It's now illegal to call somebody an illegal alien in New York or say you're going to call ICE. Did they really outlaw that? These immigrants are shifting political policy. I mean, pretty much every group has shifted policy one way or the other. Oh, okay. Astro says, I'll never understand people who are against freedom of movement. I'm against it. Now you'll never understand me. Okay. Sky says, wonder who the primary Democrat will be. The media is making it seem that Trump will be impeached, even though he will not, because the Republicans will acquit him in the Senate. Music Fiend says, well, no, I take that back. He'll be impeached, but he won't be removed from office. I should say it that way, because that's actually what will most likely occur. If you moved around legally, I wouldn't have a problem. Uh, let's see. I don't believe that, but that makes me want to break the law now. And then he laughs his behind off. This very vulgar phrase that Music Fiend decided to throw in there. B Still says it feels like the world is coming to an end. I feel like playing some musical instrument like they did on the Titanic movie. Brian says, yeah, I'm sure the Senate will not cooperate with impeachment. Yeah, because they're cowards. And that's kind of like that's why I don't like the two-party system because it means that people are more concerned about getting reelected than actually trying to assess something in a proper manner. I mean, we could flip it around. If it was Obama getting impeached and it was a Democratic Senate, he wouldn't get acquitted whether the crime was valid or not. There was actually a guy who was on Jimmy's show a couple of days ago, or last week or whatever, and they were talking about Nixon almost getting impeached before he resigned. And they were mentioning how, they didn't try to get him out over bombing in Cambodia, which killed all these different people, or any other thing that resulted in loads and loads of death casualties. No, they get upset because a building gets broken into and some wiretapping, which no one died as a result of that. But it shows you how these people like to pick and choose what stuff they're going to get really concerned over. And it's like we have well, actually seven. Like, let me correct myself. We have 7 wars that are going on that were not authorized by Congress and no one is trying to impeach anybody over that, or no one's, and it's like, what the hell? All these deaths just go completely unavenged in any capacity. Uh, I keep wanting to say Sky and I read Brian, I get confused. We only have 12 years until the world ends because of climate. Do with that which as you will. She said the world was going to end in 12 years. She said it was going to there will be irreversible damages that will eventually result in the plant's destruction. What will likely happen is we'll get to a point where we'll just try to like get water to Mars and then live over there. Um, Music Fiend says, imagine the mass migration because the Middle East becomes unlivable. Yeah, that's my thing. A lot of these people are fleeing. Like, you'll get Trump or whoever else saying that all these other governments are terrible and we should have regime change, and then you get shocked when the people who like you get upset that the people who want to get away from that same terrible government you preach are coming over here. Uh, LOL, it doesn't make me feel better. According to some scientists, we don't have 12 years. So which scientists do we believe? Enlighten me. Oh man, I don't. Here we go. I mean, I'd rather this than the immigration stuff because that's just been repeated over and over. Oh yeah, this on Maddow's show, she interviewed Hillary. I think it was on Tuesday or not Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday, and on her show, I think yesterday she interviewed Susan Rice, and this guy on Twitter said, this is warmonger week." Let's see. For as ridiculous as Greta Thunberg looks for screaming to old people because her childhood was destroyed, she's got a point. You could sell oxygen right now in China. Dirk says impeachment is fumbled. No, I just think it won't go anywhere. It's just a waste of time in my view. But whatever, they like to play how they roll. I'm talking about the IPCC report. Yeah, that's another thing. Like we, it sucks that we have to even like name documents to get people know what we're talking about. Like, oh, the scientists said this. You mean they all came together? Like, yes, they said it in this report. He still says that tank of oxygen is from back when airway breathable, well, or air was breathable. So I think you get so excited, you're just typing so quickly. Dirk says, if only they open the scope of impeachment. Man, that issue is just so like it's just impeachment and immigration just all day, every day, over and over. It's the be still and no phone that is causing these grammatical errors, not its operator, the device. Music Fiend says we could have got Trump with the emoluments clause in the first year of his presidency alone, but no. I'm sure it. Look, there's a lot of stuff that has legs. Like the war crimes have legs. The problem is because I am considered a leftist person or left leaning person, I can't say that without having some Republican go, but what about Obama? So my position automatically gets discredited. Let's impeach because Russia. Yeah, the new Red Scare. Astra says, I did answer. I believe the scientists of the world who came together under the UN IPCC and created that report. They do not have opposite findings. Every report that comes out states the same thing over and over again. Dirk says it's only Bernie, but now media is ramping up it's anti-Bernie talk. Well, that's because they're trying to take advantage of this hospitalization of his. So they're really scummy people. When you want to destroy someone or make them look bad, you don't care what means you go through to have to do it. It's all part of the process of getting that person to look like trash. Also, Dirk, if you remember the voice actor situation, I had mentioned that a big reason episodes take longer to come out is because I have to wait for voice actors. So tomorrow it's going to be 3 weeks since the last one came out. And in those 3 weeks, we've had the exact same couple of people that didn't record before it came out, not record anything since. Um, this is just how they roll. They delay and stall and obstruct. Astra says, I'm wondering if Bernie's polling will dip because of the health issue. No, it'll increase. They'll say, oh, look at Sanders, how strong he is. He came out of there and went right up. His poll numbers will heighten. He still says Trump dog whistles to his Jonestown base. All right, that is pretty funny. They're all drinking the Kool-Aid to fight him from the consequences. Astro says, hope so. Hey, we should all have a little prayer. I'm gonna turn the light off and start lighting put some candles on. Like, please let Sanders' polling numbers come up. It would be much appreciated. And if you could, have Biden's drop. Thank you. I mean, hey, his Kool-Aid matches his face. That was a joke I had on Twitter that if he went to jail, his clothes would match his face. And people kept going, "Why'd you talk about the way?" Like, do you know how many people have talked about the way I look on here? I'm done. I've had people discuss every single like capacity of appearance on here when it had nothing to do with anything. So I'm fine with making remarks about others' appearances now because the gloves are off. Once you break the threshold, the standard, I get to do the same thing. Okay, Brian says they do. Scientists said the world would end plenty of times in the past, yet we're still here. I guess we'll only find out who's right in 12 years. We'll agree to disagree. Uh, just proves that looks do matter. I said that on. You didn't see the Dodge and Friend Zone thing? I said that in there. That people can keep trying to tell you about, how all these external factors are so important. The truth is, if I had a big set of titties, I'd have like, I don't know, 5 times the number of views I get automatically. I should do a social experiment where I just draw like a pair of breasts and then I put them as the picture and I go into like iMovie or Windows Movie Maker and then put the audio over that and then see if it increases. I guarantee you it will. And we've had instances where people don't even where they'll actually turn the audio off on certain videos of people they think are attractive and just like sit there staring at them. And it's like I've never done that because first of all, there's way too many chicks to where that even like I don't see any that I go, wow, must look at picture now. So I don't do it. But the idea that you would have someone trying to state information or something else they think is of value, which is why they're speaking, and then completely silence the thing so you can gawk at them doing that for 10 minutes. Just that's why I said me and people we don't agree on stuff because I don't do what they do. Uh Dirk says, what a reliable group of people they should be in Congress. The voice actors are like Congress over there obstructing. That's what it feels like. It feels like being because I told you I write it, draw it, direct it. So it actually kind of feels like being the president to their Congress, where they all just sit together and you got a couple that are willing to meet you and do stuff, as quickly as they can, and other ones who are kind of like tiptoeing and not responding, and it all lines up perfectly. Astra says you reference the end. We are talking about the point of no return. The end of the world is subjective. The planet will go on after humans are extinct. But yes, agree to disagree. We're all just doing this. If you had titties, I'd be horrified. Well, I'm not. I mean, I'm saying that if I were the reverse gender, it would be a completely different whatever. I wasn't actually saying if I had these enormous watermelons, everything would be some complete reverse. I actually probably still would get more attention because that would look even more perplexing. Like, what's happening to his chest? um, Brian says, of course, many things and ideals are subjective in life. Also, I don't care for either side in politics. They are they are all corrupt and liars in my view, like the person who is streaming right now. I can't believe Brian would say that about me. Then again, I'm not surprised. He says, if you were an average looking girl, you would get a lot more attention and money on Twitch. I'm not even on Twitch. No one can get anything on there unless they're half naked. Astro got that as a visual. I'm sure that was very enjoyable. Music Fiend says, might as well gain weight. I mean, if you want to gain it, you gain it. My thing is, I don't do things that I don't enjoy anymore to try to please or appeal to any of these people at this point. Brian says, well, some girls get banned. They are not popular enough. I mean, my thing is with all these different websites, it's really easy to just kind of skirt around rules. Like Oh my God, YouTube is messing with me. Well, time to put this on Vimeo or some other place. Let me turn this off. I don't want that pinging noise to be some constant thing. I apologize. I know that everyone was really upset by that. Brian says, well, oh, okay. I read that again already. I'm not sure how guys can sit and watch those girls for hours doing nothing and donating money to them. Live and let live, I suppose. I just leave them alone. Oh, this is funny. Someone did something that was very, very not bright. We'll keep that for another time. These guys either have sub 90 IQ or are from a third world country. I just never understood paying to see someone like on a computer screen, whatever. But that's how they roll. So, also, when are we going to start the Romney impeachment? Because Trump wants that to occur. I mean, I'm sure Romney's done some crooked stuff over his career, so it wouldn't necessarily. Here's the thing: like all these people are talking about getting rid of him. I want to see some of these senators and various representatives get impeached as well for doing nasty stuff. Uh, what happened to O'Donohue, if you don't mind me asking? I have no idea. He likes world class certain word I can't say because my mother will spank me. So he's over there probably watching now. I haven't seen him on the stream or on their channel in a long time. So he matter of fact, let me actually look. Let's check this out. He just gave up on me. He disappeared. And I was so hurt. Imagine I find his channel just like, Sean, please come back. I think this is him. Oh, this is him. Yeah, he put up a video 3 weeks ago. Should I leave a comment? No, I'm not going to do that. I didn't even know people other than the president can get impeached. Dirk, yeah, they can censor you and they can expel you from office. Those are their two options. Like with King, right? He's in office, the representative from Iowa, the only Republican from in the House from Iowa. He's still in office, but he can't. He's literally is stripped of his committee assignment, so he just sits around and gives speeches, and that's basically it. He actually gave a speech that was like 30 minutes 2 weeks ago that I thought was really funny, but I didn't upload the video about it because I didn't think it would get enough attention, and I was kind of like, just whatever. Astra said, I just got a notification that Trump is trying to say Rick Perry told him to call Ukraine. Our wonderful energy secretary would never do something like that, Astra. You're spamming fake news. How dare you? Ryan says there is a small rumor going around that Hillary may run again. Well, she better get in. I don't know what she's waiting for. Ryan says, I'm not sure how guys can sit and okay, I read that already. Read that already, read that already, read already, read it already. I'm doing such a great job. I'm giving myself a pat on the back for keeping everything read. Okay, if Trump gets impeached, Pence would be up. Not many people talk about Pence compared to Trump. Yeah, that's kind of a thing. The president completely dwarfs and overshadows the vice president. That always happens. I mean, he's just as horrible, except with him, they can go back to acting like things are normal. So because there are no mean tweets, they can say, "Oh, it's all right, it's fine." Uh, do people hate Pence as much as Trump? I would only say no because not as many people have heard of Pence as they have Trump. Oh yeah, Astro. Pence doesn't have the like the thing about Trump is he's entertaining. When you see him, he's funny. Might say something that grabs your attention. Pence is just your standard, average, bland Republican. Like there's really no difference between him or Paul Ryan or Rubio or just anyone you can think of. That they're the same old warmonger, cut everything except defense spending uh, clowns that we've known them as. Music King says in regard to Pence, I want the Jimmy Dore approach, wake up the left by having a serious maniac in office. Well, if he ever gets there, we'll see. Someone actually said they think Trump is going to be like a Reagan era resurgence where he gets 2 terms and then Pence gets one and then gets creamed, and it's like really embarrassing. So that'll be funny, but it's not funny that we'd have to sit through 12 years of this. I'm good. Yeah, he seems stoic. I mean, he's just there to like all the. Here's the thing: every single advisor to a president, barring a few like Bolton, for example, they're there to just be talking, repeating heads for whatever the president believes. So if you said, "What's the difference between the positions of Biden and Obama?" When Biden was still VP, I couldn't tell you. The same thing with Trump and Pence. It's just whatever ideology one has, the other one has. They're there to be a carbon copy every single time, no matter who it is. So that's why he seems so stoic because he doesn't really have anything special to say at all. Yusufine says he's your evangelical warmongering Midwesterner. He's just your average evangelical warmongering Midwesterner. The Dore approach, in my opinion, is crap. It's not worth the damage that could be. Excuse me? Astro, did you say that you think Dore's approach is what? What word did you use? Was it something that is synonymous with feces or fecal matter? Oh, I hope I didn't just read what I read. I'm gonna read it one more time, and I'm gonna tell my eyes a little bit. Yeah, it's exactly what I thought it was. Oh, not even gonna read the rest of it. I'm so appalled. I mean, that's just completely such unnecessary language. Read it one more time and torture my eyesight with that one more time. I think not, Envoy. I know you're trying to be a sadist for the moment, but I'm not. You know how Booker is doing. He's literally him and O'Rourke are trading places for. I used to say sixth place, but now they're in seventh and eighth because Yang has been going up a little bit. Speak so disparagingly about Jimmy, the wonderful political commentator, the sole survivor of the TYT decline, a hero of mine. Okay, yeah, but yeah, Brian, there was actually I keep switching between Brian and Sky. There was an article that came out that Booker, if he didn't fundraise enough, was going to drop out. He's going to be in the next debate, and I think the one after that, and he'll probably bow his hat, which is really funny because it's going to make all those interviews he did where he's talking about I'm currently rising, and if you look at the polls from these other Democrats who actually became the nominee, they never were. It's going to make all of that look so much more funny just watching it in retrospect. It's like, oh, he was coming up, and his what? Yeah, that's how he sounds, is it not, Envoy? The most forced thing you've ever heard. I don't usually talk about these people's voices either, but that was spot on. I don't care what anyone says. I've been rising in the polls. Yeah, well, you're gonna rise yourself out of this race from that fundraising dip. But it wasn't just the language policy, Astro. You also made a very negative comment about a great man, one of the greatest men of the 21st century. Yeah, Brian, the debate was this month. They're doing a debate every month. And you know what, Brian? You know why I'm so appalled by that comment of yours? Why it's almost as bad as Astro's comment? Because you can go on Wikipedia right now and look up when the next debates are. but you decided not to because you wanted to have me carry the burden and bear the cross in your place, in your steed. Brian, we're gonna force you to watch my whole show if you say something like that again, asking a question you can look up online. Yeah, it's a good thing your climate change debate friend answered for you because I wasn't. I was gonna sit there and grimace at the camera. For the record, I do not dislike Jimmy, just that particular idea. Oh, please. I bet if I went over his channel right now, I could find hundreds of Astro comments besmirching his name and admonishing him for his opinions time and time again. I'd rather not go and look. I'd rather you just stick to your claim and the rest of us think of it what we will. Okay, Brian says, but I like talking to you. That's why I asked. Well, I liked your Sky name before, which is why I keep bringing it up. And then you just kept changing it, and you don't even get a picture. So I always have to wonder what's the new name for Sky/Brian/person that defamed me in a stream a couple of weeks ago. I said I'll change it back soon after my school project is done. Well, you better at least get rid of the numbers. I keep thinking that's some phone number you want me to prank call or something. I'm not doing it. He's like, hey, figure out my area code, and then you'll be able to call me. I'd rather not. Oh, I didn't even read Music Fiend's comment. James the Dorit of the South Side of Chicago. I don't. James the Dorith of the South Side. Chicago. Jimmy's from Chicago. You have me so. It's like, who's this new person? Where did Ruben go? Just disappeared. He was here at the start. I bet he's really angry with me for not having that documentary finished. He probably wants my head on the platter and he's pissed off. And I don't blame him. I let him down. I'm gonna penalize myself after this. You should see the movie. I like how you have to put quotation marks around it. Like there's a whole slew of Joker films. The movie Joker, not the Joker trilogy or the Joker shorts. I probably won't, just because I've really kind of walked away from a lot of these superhero films, and just that most movies in general, if I think they're worth seeing, I usually try to wait until they're out of theaters. Because I don't like going in the theaters most often than not. Like I'll go if my best friend wants to do it because he's not down. We don't see each other in person that often. But outside of that, it's just a thing of waiting until it comes out because none of these films do I think are so important that I must see it the day or week or month it comes out. I'll rush more to go see a YouTube video than to go see these films that have been worked on for years. Theaters are whack. Hey, you better watch that language on my own time. Music Fiend trying to sound like a sailor. He joined the Navy yesterday. Part of his enlistment is going in streams and cursing up a storm. Ryan says, "Yeah, I understand. That was the last time I'll be see, or that was the last movie I'll be seeing for a long while." Word, I'll watch a YouTube video on a heartbeat. Yeah, because it's a lot easier to just click on something than get in your car or whatever other service you use and then sit up in this theater with a bunch of loud characters or You just have to like hope you gambled on the right set of people that aren't going to disrupt the film or shout out spoilers. Like I remember seeing The Last Airbender when that came out. I think it was the day it came out or some short time after that. Um, and right at like before anyone even says anything in the film, somebody shouts out "on." It's like, was that necessary? We couldn't just hear it for ourselves. So I had a horrible experience seeing the last Marvel movie in theaters. Oh, it was a horrible experience. I'm dying to see it. I'm a DC woman, but for some reason I have no desire to see Joker. You can claim that, Astro, but we actually got some images leaked where you have like you have all what was it 22 MCU films stacked on your bookshelf. So you're a DC woman in name only. You say one thing and do the opposite. Envoy says the Joker movie is receiving flack from some people. It's kind of ridiculous. I'm feisty tonight. Well, again, I'm pissed off. I didn't get to do my morning stream because I was passed out from doing this never-ending show that I can't conclude because the voice actors won't do their line. Oh man. Music Fiend says, plus if I paid for a movie and someone's talking behind me, there's gonna be 25% chance of a fight breaking out. I'll voice act for you. Not Music Fiend. It's cool. I already got a new plot, concocting a master plan at the moment. And that was the funniest thing in the world, where it's like these people just sit back and all of a sudden there's some big shock, like, "Oh, you replaced me." It's like, "Yeah, you wouldn't record anything. Bye." I don't know what you're getting mad over. You weren't mad when you sat there for months not recording anything, and now it's time for you to get upset. Really? Like, I'm so angry he won't sit back and wait for me from June to October. Like, no, forget that. That's why stuff stays in development hell for so long. Ryan says, almost like the media want. Oh, here we go with that group again. To do something bad yesterday on opening night. I'm so tired of hearing that word. I don't even want to repeat it. Every time I see it, it's just a lazy way to talk about any man that can't get with a woman that has like any critique toward a portion of them. I'm tired of it. And like they're talking about a movie that doesn't even have anything to do with that group or whatever. It's dumb. Uh, People make bank off tragedy. They love blood money. I mean, that's what the military industrial complex is. People die for defense contractor pockets to get stuffed with all that green. Brian says the military issued a warning to watch out for. Man, yeah, I'm so scared of that guy. Oh my god, I could just not go and see the film when it comes out in theaters. If I'm so afraid, is a shaming word and a disproves that sex is important. Well, like I said, people can go to Vegas and pay for it. It's literally my adjacent state. I'm not too freaked out about its lack of availability. Dude, the only people that really are like freaked out over that word are in like their 50s and 60s and don't know about the current climate of dating, which, like I said, I'm all too familiar with to even get tripped out over stuff like that. Uh, Always says, did the military really do that? And then some guy named Jez Luz, writes after that. Newsfeed says, whenever I read out my comments, I realize how much of an urbanite I come off as. I'm just reading the comment. I censor out the swear words because those are bad. You can't say those. You don't need so much profanity. Brian says, ironically, if you If you sleep with a lot of girls, you're a dog. And if you can't get laid for whatever reason, you're a loser. As man, you lose either way. That's why I said it's just like, I mean, if you go on here and say you're sick of this chick stuff, you get called that term that was used earlier. And then if you don't talk about it, you get accused of being gay. So actually, you get accused of being gay either way. So it's just a thing of whatever. So I said I can't take a lot of stuff online that seriously anymore because it's not really people trying to actually understand something. It's more of a I have a confirmation bias about the group that you're part of, and after that you're just sort of expected to either fit into my bias or I ask you just it doesn't go anywhere other than just pissing me off, and that's why I stay away from it. They issued the warning in their newspaper called the Stars and Stripes. We're like the dingbats and dummies. If you really think that group is what you should be worried about, you guys have a mass shooting every day, and I'm supposed to be worried about some guys that can't get with chicks. And please. So I said all these different groups are jokes. The FBI is a joke. The CIA is a joke. Every last one of them. Only time the FBI was effective was under Hoover. The rest of it is just like a couple of agents that do some good stuff here and then, and the most of it is just existing to exist. So do we have anything left to say? I'm trying to see. I think people are getting tired. Ruben really ran out of here. I can't believe it. I'm so saddened. I should have made that documentary. He would have stayed for like 30 minutes longer. He's gonna come back on. Where's my damn documentary? So like, I'm sorry. I was gonna make it. Sorry, he's not good enough. I'm never watching you again. Like, no. Okay, Brian says it's very tiring hearing BS news like that. Same thing with video games cause mass shooters thing, SMH. They do. I mean, Brian, when before you shot up that school, you made sure to play some what's the new one called? Sword and Shield. Astro says it's funny because there's a double standard on the other side as well. For women, it's trouble. It's terrible the way people treat and judge each other. Well, they say all kind of stupid stuff, and it's not my job to try and correct them. I just, for the most part, ignore it. Uh, Limit your social interactions to people you only care for, and trust me, these things wouldn't even concern you. Oh yeah, see, my problem is I have people that I like that interact with people that I don't like, and they get mad if I say, "Hey, this person is literally." I'm not putting up with being mutual acquaintances with that. Hypocrisy, double standards on both sides. It's pretty sad, really. Like I told you about the person who had the couple doesn't have pot to piss and that had a kid. It's like, I'm not saying don't talk to them because I don't like them. I'm saying that because that is a lifestyle that I cannot support, that I don't endorse. Yeah, hypocrisy and double standards on both sides. It's pretty sad, really. And then Astra responds, "Yes, Brian," with the heart. So she loves the hypocrisy and the double standards on both sides. She finds it so appealing. That's the that's the message that's being conveyed there. And we would have never thought that if it weren't for the heart. So you should have kept that for February or whatever month Valentine's Day is in. It would have been a lot more appropriate. I mean, it's better than that swear you had earlier. That was completely ridiculous. Saying that bad word. That's what I do. I only talk when talked to at school or in public. Most people, in my opinion, are just crazy as hell. Yeah, I don't. That's my thing. Like when I'm in some traffic stop, I don't even say anything if I get the horn blown at me. I just go. So I really think most interactions are people just trying to start something over nothing, and because I think of it as nothing, I don't interact. Just like whatever. Keep talking to yourself. A heart of solidarity, man. Please. We know what you were alluding to. You like that sadness. We're gonna call you Astro the Sadist, the ATS from this point forward. This interview is still going on. Turn it off. Oh, that's something else with Matho. Had on MSNBC, I was watching these dingbats speak to each other. People will yell or flip out on you over the littlest things. I've seen it happen in person. Oh, I know. The most minor stuff gets treated like it's such a big deal. It's really dumb. Music Fiend says, I'm better than everybody I know. That's why I don't even bother. Narcissism gang, baby. Oh, Ruben finally returned at the 11th hour. Ruben was so upset he didn't get his documentary that he ducked out of here. He said, man, not even gonna show up. I was waiting for that and it never came. Did he leave? What's happening? In the world, am I misspelling? I put Hapoen. That's terrible. You can tell I'm very poorly educated. Got to head out. It was lovely talking to you all. See you later. Hopefully you'll stop swearing after you wake up. All right. Ruben says, oh, okay. He said he was back and that was it. That was his only message. It's like, I have returned. All right, leave bad word, lady. So the rest of us uh with tongues of good language are not subjected to any more cursing. Put my computer and this thing's it's on its last leg. No, but like I was saying, we've actually had multiple people that just I don't know what's wrong with them. They look at these different online groups of this chick hate and stuff, and they actually think that anyone they see who talks in a non-positive manner about broads automatically is part of that group. Just like, no, I don't care. I'm not posting on any of these forums. I'm not in person affiliated with anyone who is part of those groups. I'm just tired of the same repetitive yo-yo cycle. And so are a lot of other people. Uh, if someone calls you, they essentially disagree with you. Oh yeah, it's their way of just basically trying to insult me over some chick stuff. I mean, what usually happens is they try to give unsolicited advice, and I say, no, thank you, and then they proceed to respond back in some lashing out manner. I like all the people pushing for impeachment think the Democrats are actually going to indict Biden as well, even though they're going out of their way to cover up what Biden and his son did. Yeah, they're not. That's my point. It's every listen. Both parties are full of disingenuous hacks that only want to see their side taken care of. As long as these Democrats who hate Trump can get him out of office, they don't care that Biden committed some campaign finance loss or violation or did some other crime along with his son. It's all about screwing with the other team so that your side can score a point in the long run. And that's why I can't, I realize that a lot of people on here they aren't serious about donating or actually helping me run for any office, and that's cool. But like I said, I'm not. If I were in any of these positions, I would not support Pelosi. I would not support Nadler. None of these people because they're not doing anything that's actually sincere. It's all about trying to be friendly with the wrong groups. If this was a defense contractor who, for example, was on trial, they'd love him. Say, "Oh yeah, that's our war buddy. Yeah, he's cool." Why do you think the Epstein stuff got so many people in trouble? That like this, all of it's connected. Ruben says establishment pundits are literally claiming that Trump made up everything about Biden and Ukraine. Yeah, they're stupid. Oh, I know. No one is talking about Epstein now. Yeah, Sky, what do you know about me? I follow this stuff. So all the things that were taken and are no longer talked about, I remember. Do you remember? Let me ask you this, Sky. Do you remember when Trump was saying there was a caravan coming ahead of the midterms, and then after they took place, he completely stopped talking about it? What the hell happened to the caravan? Exactly. Yeah, music fiend Jeffrey Ep. Who? Tell me, Sky. All these little controversies and scandals, they're all built up to get you induced at that moment, and then when they're done with it, they get out. There was none. There was no violent parade of migrants coming over here. It was designed to scare people into voting for Republicans, and it at least in the House failed. So it Trump distanced himself from it. Do you remember the video where Trump said he'll take responsibility for the shutdown? Like when he was in the White House with in the Oval Office with Pelosi and Schumer and said, "I'll take responsibility for it." And then after that happened, he started saying, "The Democrats are the reason for it. They won't sign my bill for borders." Do you remember that? Remember when Trump had a book where he said he supported single payer health care? It was about maybe 10 years ago. Now it's a socialist, evil, democratic proposal. I'm telling you, all this stuff is connected. I can literally give you sources for all of this stuff, and in some cases, can play a video of Trump saying one thing and then flip flopping, along with other people that do the exact same thing. I told you, I'm not on anyone's side. I just remember this stuff because I've been around for it. Look up Jeffrey Epstein connection to the late Roy Cohn. Yes, Ruben, I know. Cohn was the lawyer for both McCarthy, so not Kevin McCarthy, Joseph McCarthy and Trump. Yeah, connected to the Epstein controversy is legitimately terrifying. Josephine says controversies and scandals shelled out by pundits and writers to an already miserable population where labor is regularly exploitive and virtues are virtually meaningless. A Ryan says, and this is why I said earlier, I don't fancy any side. Well, hey, I'm of the same position. I'm a left leaning person, so I kind of have to deal with the Democrats. But if there was a way to do this without being part of the two-party system, I would do it. But look, I hope you were impressed by that display of different things that have been stated and said, and positions that have. I guess what I'm trying to do is assure you that um, I pay attention and I retain information. I try to be able to reference stuff because a lot of it connects. So it's just how I roll. I'm gonna register Democrats in the coming months, but that's for Bernie. Yeah, I'm registered as 1 and 2 of Music Fiend. My thing is, my state claimed they allowed normal people to vote for either party, but I didn't believe them. Doesn't win. I'm burning the flag for clout. Don't do that. That's unpatriotic. Not outsourcing jobs so that more Americans are homeless. Not literally firing 500 people if you're Wells Fargo and giving them all no positions. No, it's the most unpatriotic thing you can ever do is burn a flag. Not having Americans go overseas and die in wars that we don't need to see fought. No, that flag, man, that's the ultimate sin. Brian said, I know you do. You are a ghetto person. So sad. Most people are better than you, man. It hurts my feelings. I'm gonna end the stream by crying a river. Imagine if I actually did that. Where like the whole it's like a I have like one of those waterproof computers, and you see like all the little water just right above my head. All right, so did we? Are we tapped out? Because I'm pretty tired at this point. I want to do some. I got to record some stuff after this, and do some stuff for the show. Do that documentary that Ruben wants, and I'm trying to get out as well this week. So does anyone have any other comments? Gonna wake up early tomorrow. Well, I'm gonna. Hopefully, you can catch my stream that I do tomorrow at some point. Uh, when you're not busy. But yeah, does anyone have anything left to say? Any further comments, theories, thoughts, speculations, positions, opinions, analysis? And let me actually read what Sky said. I know you do. You are an intelligent person. So sad most people aren't. Uh, my heart was touched. Anything else? Going once? Going twice? All right. Thank you for participating, and I'll see you tomorrow.